Hello, hello, hello. Here I am under the logo. Welcome to episode 13 of Philo, lucky number 13. They have ended up in the land of Philo. They went to a ball, they got drugged. And here's Robin up here. And let me set this up. You can hear my daughter crying back there. She's upset that she made a mess and daddy yelled at her. And so, yes. So
screaming, so familiar.
Yes. So where we left off last week, now they are women and accepted into the land of Philo for their annual ball was, sorry, not that week. Here we go. They want to stage a coup and place Dot Badan in place of Venus de Philo. That's where we left off.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Now what?
My mom instinct is telling me to run to my daughter. But Ian's like, I got her. I can take her.
Yeah, you can handle it.
But mom instinct is like, no, I want to go there.
He's a capable dude.
Yes. So, okay. So they want to stage a coup. Do they state why they want to replace Venus de Philo?
Maybe Dot Badan is more, not aggressive, but just more proactive in doing things. Whereas the current one is very lackadaisical and like a chill stoner kind of girl.
What I see is that they want a puppet government.
Oh.
And they see Dot Badan as their easy way to take
to manipulate
their, yeah, exactly. And so, you know, it's like all the, like the viceroys and stuff in like ancient Korea. You know what I'm talking about? You know, where like there'd be like messengers and stuff that run to the different regions, and there'd be people in charge of the different regions, but there'd also be people at the palace that would have to tell those people what to do, right?
Yes.
More than just the emperor or the empress.
A lot of shuffling feet.
Ancient Korea had an empress.
Yeah. So did ancient China.
Yeah. China's got killed sooner. The Korean one lasted for several like decades, and so
the last Chinese empress, she lasted several decades.
Well, let's see.
Emperor, her name is Xixi. It's spelled Cixi.
Empress.
I read her biography when I was in China. She was quite an interesting woman. She did a lot for China, but they don't talk about her because, of course, the communist empire does not.
This was before Mao, right?
Yeah,
Mao took her out, right?
No. She there was a boy a child. You know, the last emperor of China was a child. But before the child, she was before the child.
Her life is 1835 to 1908.
And she was cool because she started out as a concubine. She was the first one to birth a son. That's how she rose to power. But then because
she was regent for almost 50 years.
See?
Wow.
Yep.
Good for her. Yeah. Anyway, just because I feel like sharing with the world before we get into stuff, since we're talking about coups and everything. You know, so this is her on Wikipedia.
Whoop, whoop.
You know, like
I've been to her house.
Yeah, and then has, you know, talks about like her.
One of the sad things about her is that she wrote a letter to Queen Victoria begging her to stop sending opium to their country because it was killing their people. Yeah. And either Victoria didn't get it, or Victoria said, too fucking bad, I'm making too much money off of this.
Too fucking bad, I'm making too much money off of this. They did not value any of the people that they conquered for their empire, the English.
So that was sad. Also, when the other thing that bothered me when I was reading about her is that she, when I think it was the Boxer Rebellion or the Boer War, I'm not sure. I'm really bad with dates and things.
They have the Boxer Rebellion right here. In 1900, the Boxer Rebellion broke out in northern China, perhaps fearing further foreign intervention. Zizi, through her support to these anti-foreign they have it spelled Cixi.
Yes, but it's pronounced Xixi.
Shishi.
Yep.
Okay, Shishi. Anti-foreign bans by making an official announcement of her support for the movement and a formal declaration of war on the Western powers. The General Ronglu deliberately sabotaged the performance of the Imperial Army during the rebellion. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about coups and stuff. So, okay, so let's say that Shishi is the inspiration for Philo, right?
Sure. Yeah, makes sense to me.
So then that means that they want to put in a communist government? Is that what's happening?
Maybe the women of Willendorf are tired of being like sycophants and kowtowing, and they want to be in power. So it is basically a Wallendorf communist government.
Well, okay. So what was Mao's reason, aside from I want power, I want to be in charge, right? Mao's reason was like
okay, well, first of all, Mao was insanely corrupt. Let's just say this. Mao was insanely corrupt.
You know more about this than I do, because
I do. I've read quite a lot about him.
Yeah.
And even when he was a teenager going to school, his essays were all about how much better and smarter and how he deserved all the power. But he marketed himself as a communist guy, and the whole point of communism, of course, is that everyone is equal. And all of China at the time was in the throes of rebellion. They were trying to get rid of the feudal system, get rid of the emperors and the empresses, and try to get something else in place, because the poor were really freaking poor and they were tired of it. And that really appealed to a lot of people as well. Mao didn't want to deal with any women issues, so he was also considered a quote-unquote feminist, because he encouraged a lot of females to join the Communist Party, and he treated them like men. But a lot of it was that he didn't want to deal with his various girlfriends and wives while they were pregnant. He had a wife back home that he had abandoned with children. And those children were actually sent to Russia as like hostages. And then he had I can't remember if he married her or not, but he had a girlfriend during the Long March, and she had 2 children during that march, and she had to abandon them on the side of the road.
What? Okay. Explain to my stupid Western brain. What is the Long March?
Okay, so the Long March was this thing where initially, when the communists were trying to get into power, the opposition wasn't the royalty, it was Chiang Kai-shek, who was like he was kind of, I guess he was like a Democratic Party sort of. He was like fighting for his hold over China as well. So that's who the communists were fighting, and on top of it too, they were fighting the Japanese, if I remember correctly, which was another reason why they got a lot of support.
The Japanese had invaded them at the end of the 19th century. And so they were under occupation by Japan for like many years. I do know that because I watched Kung Fu movies, and Ip Man was very big on fighting the Japanese.
So that was the other reason why the communists were so popular, was also because they were fighting the Japanese. And so the Long March, it was this big battle. But when you actually read about Mao, you learn that it was him trying to avoid getting back to the main party, because he had created his own little fiefdom within all the people that had joined him on the march. The other thing is, there was another gentleman in the Communist Party who had actually probably had more power than Mao at the time. And more people following him. And again, Mao was supposed to join up with this guy, but he just he was doing this crazy little, I'm going to join you, but he's like avoiding and killing his people in the process, because they had no food, they had not enough clothes, and it was getting cold, and they're going up north, and it was all honestly just to avoid, so he could become like the most powerful of them all, you know what I mean, in the group of the communists. He's so evil. I got so angry for the Chinese reading about him. He's so evil, and they don't know because they're into all the propaganda. They don't know anything about Tiananmen Square. They don't know, and when I mentioned Shishi, they would be like, oh, she's evil, and I'm like, not really. But,
No.
history's rewritten by the victors. So don't you think he's not going to say anything good about her? And then they were like, oh, like, think about that for a second. Because honestly, if you ask me, she was as normal as any queen. And the worst, most evil thing she did, and really she only did it for China, which to me is like, that's what queens do, is she had adopted a son so that he could become the emperor of China, because she knew she was dying. But she eventually discovered that this guy was in bed with the Japanese, and as soon as she died, he was gonna like hand China over to the Japanese.
She had him assassinated, right?
He had him assassinated, yeah.
That's what you do when you're the Empress of China.
Yeah, and she knew she was dying, and she knew she couldn't leave it in the hands of him, because China would. And she did so much for that country. Like, she brought in the trains and electricity. She set up relationships with the United States, so that she was sending over Chinese boys to be educated in the United States and in like an exchange program, and then to come back and bring like their knowledge back. Like, she did so much for that country. But like, yeah, I mean, it didn't look good when you're communist, and the communists don't think that she did much.
Yeah, well, I mean, propaganda's like that.
Yes, it is. It is. Because, the whole thing about Tiananmen Square is that, like, the government was supposed to be, like, they were pretending to be more open-minded, and they were encouraging the students to come forward and, like, talk about how they felt and what they thought that would help the country. And the government just turned around and was like, okay, now we're going to kill you all. Yeah. Like, shut up. No, we don't like how far you're taking this, even though it's like a non-violent struggle. The government made it a violent struggle, and then they just killed tons of students.
They were just worried about not being able to control the unrest.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, the whole, the Cultural Revolution, that was Mao trying to gain power again, because he'd retired. But then all like the young teenagers and the 20-year-olds of China had started the Red Army, where they were like, I mean, the Communist Army existed, but these were like the hardcore teen 20-year-old devotees of Mao. They were like the Red Army, and you see them in all the propaganda posters. Exactly. Exactly. And so he wanted a part of that. And so he came back from retirement. And what he did is he turned around and he said, I want to change the Communist Party. I want everything to be really good. All the good communists, everybody, just come to me and tell me all your worries and all your struggles and how we will work together to fix things. And then he turned around and took all those people and sent them out to camps, like in Siberia, those kind of places, and to just do hard labor. So you have a whole population, in my opinion, that's kind of schizophrenic, in that they try to do the right thing, but then they get punished for it. Yeah. So they never know whether they're coming or going. So they just stay in this little box and never deviate from anything. And like I would go to a sushi place and ask for no fish eggs in Mandarin. So it's not like they're sitting there and they couldn't understand me. Yeah. And they'd be like, no, because that's just not the way it's done. And I'm like, you just don't roll it in the eggs. It's really easy. And no, it's not the way it's done. Or, like the beds are rock hard. And I'm like, you don't have to sleep on rock hard beds. Like, I had to go to IKEA to get an extra mattress. And they're like, no, this is the way it's always been. This is the way it will always be. Yeah. Like, they're like, I'm the weirdo for wanting to have a soft bed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they're very, but they're also, case in point, look what happened. I mean, the current president.
They're also about face, and they're also about pride, right? And you don't want to appear prideful, but they're very proud people, right?
Oh, so they don't care about being prideful. They just don't want to look stupid or dumb or like they just. I think I told you this. Like, they lose face if you ask them a question they don't know the answer to.
With what you were describing, this is what I came up with: is that Mao wants to rule through a puppet government with Dot Badan as figurehead.
Mao.
Yeah. So
where did Mao come from?
We were talking about Mao.
Yeah, I know, but in our story, where did Mao come from? Was he hiding in
there? I don't know. He's just there. Mao's a new character. Ta-da!
I think we need to introduce him. Maybe.
Okay, we can have an introduction panel. That sounds
maybe
good.
because he was the only man on the planet that he should be like he was hiding in a cave, and now that the coup has occurred, he's come out of hiding.
Okay. Let's see, panel.
Or he was Muhammad on a mountaintop.
Sure.
Mount Muhammad.
Okay, let's do this. Let's add a new panel. Panel 2. Oh, we got some action on cat cam.
Oh, 2 kitties licking. Just licking kitty face.
Let's do this while I set up my my stuff. Oh, really? Really? No more action on cat cam?
Aw. We set it up and they took it down. Those kitties.
No, he's still here. He's still here. So he's just, he's just being a jerk cat. It happens. Let's see. Okay, now I'm set back up again, so I can put me in the.
Now my cat's making noise. She's going.
Oh, because she sees my cats.
No, she's. Situation. So whenever like my attention is divided, then she immediately comes over. So I just had my phone in my hand, and so she came over. Now she's back again because I'm talking, I guess. Whenever I eat, she's here. Whenever I roll the joint, she's here because she knows like she'll get some attention, but not too much attention because it's too intense. She can't handle it.
So what are Mao's origins?
I feel like he should be like Chairman Mao. He's like just some annoying, grubby man who they didn't want anything to do with. They got rid of him. He was stupid. So he lived on the mountain far from them, or in a cave far from them. And now, but the whole time he was planning a coup.
Mysterious. But he always wanted to run the Philo. I am not typing good today. Probably would help if I actually see what I'm typing too. Philo. Government. I can't type today. Did you freeze on me? Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, good.
It's just my friend Jania. She had trouble signing in, so she's writing to me through Instagram.
Yeah. Well,
that's on my phone.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. That she, for those people who don't know, she jumped into our back end, and I was like, "Who is this person? Why is this person here?"
This is my friend. She's a genie because her name was Jin. She's like a Jin.
Well, I noticed the name, and so I just thought that was kind of cool. Okay, so
anyway, she said the kitties are very cute.
Well, thank you. Meow's origins are mysterious, but he always wanted to run the Philo government. So you said he's on a mountaintop?
Yeah, well, because it's a whole planet of women, right? So, like, it's not like he has, like, an exalted position amongst them. They ostracized him, which is another reason why he's staging the coup.
Yeah, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have him sitting up here, and he's dreaming about being in charge.
Is there, like, another way to sign into this? Because didn't you say that they can see it from YouTube, or...
yeah, there's YouTube
or
as
Twitch.
Well. Yes.
If you could send me the link through Messenger, I'll send it to her through there.
Yeah. Okay. Here.
And then would we get her comments that way?
Yes, we would get her comments that way.
Cool. All right. Cool.
So sorry, I have to.
Yeah, because Jania has a great imagination, so I'm sure she'll come up with some fun ideas.
Yes, this is how you can watch it on Twitch, and then there we go, and then that's the YouTube channel.
Okay, so it's gonna look like I'm freezing, but I'm really not freezing. I'm just doing other things.
Okay, well, let me actually put the HTTP in front of it so that the link will work. See? There you go. And then just to check that it actually finds me. Yes, it does. Excellent. And it shows that I'm live right now. Okay. Yay!
No. Yay!
There you are. There you are. I lost you for a second.
Yeah, because I went away. It disappeared on me. But okay, this is my last one.
All right.
Now I'm back. Yay!
Okay. Yay! Yeah, we got to get you set up on your laptop.
Oh, and look, there's yeah. It's my cat cam. Oh, big eyeball.
It's your cat cam. Hi, cat.
Oh no, phone.
So what is it about like being in charge? Is he imagining like all the people like bowing to him? You know, I imagine like
instead of it being like that, maybe there's like a secret treasure palace somewhere, and that's what he wants. Is all the money.
Okay, so you imagine something kind of money binish.
Well, I think it's like a like, you know, when there's a lair of a dragon, there's tons of gold coins and treasure and stuff like that.
Here, I'm trying to light my cat better.
It's the royal coiffers. He wants access to the royal coiffers.
The coffers.
Yes.
Coffers. Okay, so yeah, so there he is. He's imagining that, and then I don't know what else to put in this panel. I guess I could just draw trees. You know, that he's like high up in the mountains.
Yeah. Some snow and clouds.
You know what? What I'm gonna do? I'm so smart. Oh, I'm so freaking smart. Yes. We are gonna do this panel. And then we're gonna do this. And then where's my trees? Where's my trees? Trees. Okay. Now I could draw like whole freaking trees because I have these really cool brushes where it's like, you know, I can like drag it around and draw a huge tree like that if I wanted.
Yeah, that's cool. That's like an alien worm.
Yeah, exactly. But I also have this brush.
All of a sudden, we're watching Dune. That's a cool brush. That look like real trees.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's cool.
This one that's just like trees. See, you do this, and then yeah, this is how I've been doing trees lately in my comics.
Very cool.
It's just so easy. And then what you do is then you throw leaves over the top of it, and it's like, oh look, there's trees.
Okay, so Jania's listening because she's enjoyed the name check.
Yeah.
Ah, there we got her. We got her in the comments.
Hi, Jen. It's nice to see you.
So her actual name is Jania.
Oh, Jania.
Yeah, and we used to work at the money place together.
Ah, excellent.
And she still works there, but I escaped.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know how I do in a place like that. Is this like
scary.
Check cashing? Like
no, it's currency exchange.
Oh,
so
okay. So not as
like
shady. It's
people showing up like going, I'm going to Korea. I need $3,000 worth of won, please. And then you've got to figure all that out and not make a mistake.
Yes, and look at like that day's like price. You know, it changes. Like that hour's rate, you know, because it changes all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then my big thing was the amount of money. Like someone wanted to buy like a house, and it was like they were like, so how would I go about exchanging blah 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 millions in American into Canadian? And I was just like, a heart attack city. Another time, another guy came in and he'd been gambling, right? Because we're right on the border of Niagara Falls. Yeah. And like he was just casually talking about how he like, you know, was down 30,000 and then he was back up. And my heart like plummeted. That's so much money.
Yeah. There's like literally secret rich societies where it's like there's like vacation clubs and stuff where they don't even talk to you if you're not rich, right? Like there's no advertising for them. It's just rich people telling their other rich friends, and that's their life. You know, that like people will cater only to that. That's
but we gotta get Jania to contribute some ideas to the story. So
yes. So maybe you can help me with what's in his thought bubble, because his thought bubble is.
I think it should be like Uncle Scrooge McDuck. It's like a whole vault full of coins, and he's like swimming in it.
Okay, so you think I should, like, instead of having him all taller than other people that are like bowing to him and stuff?
No, because he's not in it for the kowtowing. He's in it for the money.
For the monies. Okay, so let's
Cream.
have him.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bills, y'all.
Okay, so we're gonna have him. You know, like here he is. This little like V. For some reason, I gave him a V-neck. He has a V-neck. And yeah, we're gonna have him like up here, and he's just gonna be like, yeah. And for some reason, I'm drawing his ears back. That's how we know that he's a different.
He's happy.
Yeah,
he's a happy cat.
Well, ears back is actually an aggressive cat.
Yeah, they're angry. That's true. With cat land.
Yeah. So, you see him in dollar bills, y'all. But I'm gonna do the Scrooge McDuck thing and make them coins.
Nice.
Yeah. I guess they're loonies and toonies.
I used to love telling, whenever people would come to the counter at the currency exchange and they were like from another country, I'd be like, okay, so these are loonies because they have a loon on it. Yeah. And now we have these ones. This is our $2 coin. It's got a polar bear on it. What do you think we called it?
A toonie.
A berry.
Yeah, I forget where I heard the joke. I think it was The Daily Show like a million years ago when Jon Stewart first hosted it. But where he said something that happened in the Canadian stock exchange. And it was like a big hubbub, right? And so it cuts back to Jon Stewart. He says it's really hard to take a financial crisis serious when the standard of currency is the loonie.
We're a charming little place. But here's the thing, you know, you Americans always razz us about having colored money, but I'm going to tell you right now, you are the only country, you're literally almost the only country in the world that doesn't have colored money now.
No, our money is switching over to colored money.
I've noticed, because the hundreds are like bluish, you know, some are green, some are a little yellow.
On standard, which is dumb. Metric makes so much more sense.
Yeah, you guys always have to be different.
Yeah. It's we're special.
Yeah.
And not in a good way, always.
Not always though.
Yeah, as dumb Americans. Okay, so let's see. We got this. Let's put a treasure chest back here.
Please don't take this personally. Right? Please don't take this personally, but when we worked at the currency exchange, we all hated the American money because it always made our hands so dirty. And usually it was the newest money that was the dirtiest. Because that's what Jania is saying. American money is the worst. It's so nasty and dirty and always stains my hands. Yeah. And it sticks together. It's so easy to like give extra because it sticks together when it's brand new. It's almost impossible to separate.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I take no offense because our money sucks, and it's not just that. Like,
apparently, almost all of it's covered in cocaine too. I've heard.
One benefit of the Looney and Toonie is that they're coins, so they last for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Our dollar, the most used unit of currency, right, in the United States, because it's handed over counters for things, right? Our dollar is made out of like tissue paper.
Yeah.
You know, it's so expensive to print dollars. They all look the same. Gave away 1,000s instead of 50.
No, hundreds. She gave away hundreds, not 1,000.
Yeah, 100 instead of 50. Here, let me.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Let's go.
But I have an American dollar. It's got Sacagawea on it.
Yes.
But you guys don't commonly use your coins. Like, I noticed that. No. But I did manage to get one when I went to Cleveland. I got one.
Well, when I worked at the dispensary, I would like the odd currency, right? And so $2 bills, give them to me for, and we had a guy that would always tip in $2. And so I ended up at one point with like, $200 in $2 bills.
We get them. When at the currency exchange, we get them fairly often, and people always wanted them.
Yeah. Let's see. And I would also grab all the coin money. And at one point, I think I had like $47 in $1 coins and 50-cent pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of neat because no one else wanted that stuff for some reason.
The other coin I kept from you guys is I've got the Wilma Mankiller quarter. I figure it's a good partner to the Sacagawea dollar.
Yeah. Is that like an American quarter? Or
yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Huh.
She's a First Nations, like I think she was the first First Nations woman to have like a position in actual American government.
Okay.
But I just was like, her name is Wilma Mankiller. That's awesome. And I grabbed that.
Yes, and names in the Native community are earned.
Mm-hmm.
Like they will have whole I forget which tribe it was, but they would have whole ceremonies if a great deed was performed to change that person's name to the
Sacagawea was
to the description of the great deed, right? So if she's Mankiller, then that means one of her ancestors killed a lot of men.
Yes. No, it's very cool. That's why I was like, her name is on the quarter. I'm definitely keeping this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's some Canadian money that I've kept. Like, we had a glow-in-the-dark toonie, so I've got about 3 of those. Mm-hmm. And then we had a loonie that came out by this artist named John Fluvog, and he did a piece about marriage equality on one of the loonies, so I grabbed that. So, and there's like some hideaway pieces on the toonie that I've grabbed. Like, I really like our money. I mean, but one of the things that we don't do very much of, and I kind of wish we would, is we don't do any like artists on our money. Mm-hmm. There is art. I mean, I don't mean to say there isn't art, but we usually pick like political figures.
Yeah.
Which is not unusual. A lot of countries do that on their money. But
you just want a Leonard Cohen penny.
I really do. Not a penny, but no, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but Scandinavia has like the woman who created Pippi Longstocking on their money. Mm-hmm. They have Ingrid Bergman on their money, and they also have Marlene Dietrich on their money. Is that okay? Yeah, and so you know what I mean? It's like all their artists, and I think that's kind of an interesting idea. Like, it'd be really cool to have Canadian money with Leonard Cohen on it. I would think that would be.
Well, I mean, there are so many. We went over the list the other day of like Canadian entertainers that just off the top of our head, and we weren't even searching. Like if we had Googled, the list would have been much longer. But back to the story. So Meow's origins are mysterious, but he always wanted to run the Philo government. Now what?
Yes. Okay, Janelle, this is your time to shine. You need to help us with some ideas.
I am going to recap for her.
Okay.
And that way she will see what's going on. So we really only have, let's see, this is where we left off last time. Like, they want to stage a coup and place Dot Baton in place of Venus de Philo, right? Well, then we ended up talking about Mao in China. So I created Miao wants to rule through a puppet government with Dot Baton as figurehead. And then
it's a great picture.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I love their face. Both of their faces are excellent.
Yeah, let's see. I'm doing something wrong. Okay, there's that. And then Meow's origins are mysterious, but he always wanted to run the Philo government. So that's where he came from. He's mysterious, but he always wanted to run the government. So what happens next?
Well, what's happened? What are our trustworthy heroes up to right now? Because
they're still drugged. Do we do a meanwhile?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's going on with them?
Okay,
I can't remember.
Meanwhile, they were at the ball, and the Willendorfs drugged them so that they could steal Otis/Baton.
Got it.
So they are drugged. So do they wake up in a
So they're coming too, and they're like, "Where's Otis?"
Are they gonna be gaslit like Otis who?
Oh, that's a good question. Or maybe they'll be jailed to shut them up.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, would they wake up in a dungeon? Ooh, an oubliette.
Ooh, that's a good. Yes,
you know what an
oubliette
is?
I did just watch Labyrinth with Jania because Jania had never seen it last month.
Oubliette. I have to make sure I'm spelling it right.
And there was an oubliette in that.
Yes. I have the oubliette spelling, the correct spelling. So meanwhile, the group wakes up in an...
Which is probably a French word, I might add.
It is a French word. It means
I knew it.
Of forgetting.
Oubliette. Oubliette.
The direct translation from French is place of forgetting.
Do you know? Okay, so in Canada, our license plates have like sayings on them. Maybe yours do. Do your license plate have sayings on them?
Yeah. Some of it depends on the state. Like, I want to say. Yeah, I want to say in in Delaware, it's live free or die.
That's on the license plate?
That's on the license plate. Let me.
Wow.
I will find it for you. The exact one.
Well, like in Manitoba, it's like friendly Manitoba, and I don't remember what it is in Ontario, but it used to be yours to discover. But in Quebec, it's je me souviens, which means I will remember, which is basically like I'm never gonna forget the shit you English did to us.
Yeah. It's New Hampshire, by the way, that has on their license plate "Live Free or Die."
Wow, live free or die. New Hampshire. That seems like such a benign state.
The District of Columbia, which is not technically a state, it's technically a territory. So it has no representative in government. Okay, the mayor has to ask like budgetary stuff from Congress directly, right? And so their license plates say taxation without representation.
Oh, you guys. You guys are funny.
Yeah. I mean, Minnesota just is Minnesota. California just is California.
Really? You think that they'd have the opportunity to do something, they would.
Colorado has a variety of license plates where sometimes there's like a Columbine flower in the middle. Because after Columbine had happened, they created this license plate to like support the families and stuff like that. So you get the license plate and it like gives a little bit to the family.
Yeah, my dad has like a veteran's license plate, so it's got like a poppy on it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's something like that. And yeah, your Veterans Day poppy ritual thing. I dig that. That's cool. That's a great way.
Yeah, we're pretty strict about it. I'm strict about it too, because it was funny. When I was applying for the job at the currency exchange, I had to get references and of my last 3 jobs. So I had to call my old daycare from God, I guess it's been over 10 years that I've worked there now. And they were like, "Oh, we were just talking about you." And I was like, "Really? What were you guys talking about?" She goes, "Oh, we were just remembering how strict you were about Christmas decorations and how you wouldn't let them go up until after November 11th. And I was like, "Well, yeah, because we've got to respect our veterans."
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus everybody's so eager to put up Christmas decorations. I was like, "Come on, after November 11th. All right."
Okay. So they're going to wake up in an oubliette.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did we lose Jania? I think we might have lost Jania.
It's possible. It looks like only one person's watching right now. So.
Oh, maybe it's Jania.
I don't know. We had 2 when she was watching, so she might have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's probably got a life. I'm not gonna
Life's
you grudge her that?
I hold it against no one. She stopped by, and that was nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so so they wake up in an oubliette. I guess.
Don't forget to draw the dog.
Oh yeah, we gotta draw the dog. Oh yeah, okay. And I think the dog's just gonna be here, lying on his back. He's still drugged. Because he's got smaller body mass than the others, right?
Yeah.
So we have Bluto, we have Philo, and then we have the dog. Is there anybody else in the party that I'm missing?
Oh, it is. No, I think that was it.
Okay, yeah, now here's a question for possibly future stuff. Like, they need Otis to become the Octogod, right?
Yeah, so they can go travel other places again.
Yeah, exactly. But they need Otis to become the all-in-one, like
the vending machine.
They need Otis to become the vending machine too. But I mean, all of them joined together to become the Centigod.
Oh, right. You wanted that to happen again, the kaiju. Yeah.
I'm thinking that they can't do it because Otis isn't there.
And also, there was the strange occurrence of Bluto becoming a puma. And wasn't that what changed into the Octogod, not actual Bluto?
That's true. So there's a lot of requirements, I think, to become Octogod. But Bluto can become a puma on his own.
Maybe that's what gets him out of the oubliette. He's big enough and fast enough to just go.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, where Bluto,
and then he could maybe hold on to his tail as he drags them out of the hole.
Yeah, let's see. Let's do this.
That's a good way of getting out of there, because I had no idea how they were going to get out of there.
Out of an oubliette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like saying the word. It's fun to say.
There's a lot of French words that are fun to say. It seems that most of my favorite words are C words. Mm-hmm. So, I really love the French word for crackers, which is craquelin. Mm-hmm. I really love the word for sunscreen, which is crème solaire. So when I was in daycare, I'd be like, come here, I got a cremia. Let's see, what is that? Oh, a cucumber I really like, which is concombre. So there's a lot of really good French words that are more fun to say than the English version.
I don't know.
The thing is, I love saying...
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say that French to me is it has a lot of superfluous letters.
Oh, definitely. Not letters, words. Words. Yeah. They use 4 or 5 words for one thing. It's crazy. And the other thing they do is they invert. So it's not like the black cat. It's like the cat black.
Well, Spanish is that way too.
Yeah, of course. Well, they're all Latin derived, right? So no surprise. And then, of course, the most difficult part, and I don't know if I was talking about this with somebody else, but I can't remember if I was talking about it with you too, is the fact that there's male and female, and you just kind of have to know that the table's a guy.
Yeah.
Which I initially found quite difficult.
In Spanish, the table is female.
Oh no, the table's probably female in English or in French as well. Yeah. I have not memorized the male and female of all the verbs, but the thing is when you do speak a lot of French, you start to just know. It's really weird, because if you asked me, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but if I said the word, I would know le or la. I just would know just from saying it.
Well, with Spanish, it's a lot easier because anything that ends in O or L is masculine, and anything that ends in A is feminine. So
it's not like that in French.
Yeah, so Latino is a male guy who's Latin, right? But a Latina is a female who's Latin.
What do they say about a Latinx?
A Latinx is that's the new gender that they're using for that. And
okay.
I think
I thought it was just a all-encompassing race thing. It was all South American, all grouped together with the Latinx person.
I want to get this right. So Latinx, I'm pretty sure it's gender-based. Latinx is a neologism in American English, which is used to refer to people of Latin American culture or ethnic identity in the United States. Oh,
Yeah, so it's
The
not
gender
gender.
neutral X suffix replaces the OA ending in Latino or Latina. Let's see. That are typical of grammatical gender in Spanish. Its plural is Latin X's. Words used for similar purpose include Latin at, Latine, and the simple Latin. The term was first seen online around 2004. But yeah, it's both, it seems to be. Because it does refer to all those people, but it's gender neutral. And so a lot of like Latin trans people have grabbed onto this word for them. So when they speak Spanish, it's, you know, it sounds right to their ear for their gender, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, let's draw the dog. Yeah.
Passed out like Snowy.
Yeah. Here, we'll do the little Z's. Excuse me, Z's.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's funny though, because, you know, when I was in China, right, like we have all different cultures teaching English. So, you know, half the teachers are teaching Z and half of them are teaching Z. But Z rhymes so much better. So you really start to pick it up. And because when you do Y and Z, it's so like boom.
Yeah.
But Z is like, won't you come and sing with me, Z? You know, like it rhymes. It's nice. But yeah.
Let us do a texture back here. Because if they're in an oubliette, I imagine it would be kind of scary in there. So let's...
you should have a leak coming from like behind Philo. A small leak.
Well,
so that
you know,
there's a minor chance someone might drown. A minor.
What I haven't done is add bones and stuff. You know, I gotta do that.
Then you should have a little tunnel coming in. Because why are there bones there? There's no room for anything else to be in there.
That's what they did with oubliettes, is they just throw people in there, and then that person would die, and they just throw the next person in.
Got it. They starved them to death.
Yeah, like it's a place of forgetting.
Yes, to be forgotten.
Yeah, to be forgotten, you know. And so they might feed you, maybe, you know, if they remember, right? And so sometimes they would feed them for a while just to keep them around to torture them a little longer. You know, and there was this one very famous oubliette in a French castle, right? That was near the ocean. And so it's near the ocean. And so when high tide would come, it would fill halfway with water, right?
Is that Mont Saint Michel?
I don't know exactly the location. I can look it up, but
there's a castle in France where you can only reach it when the tide is out.
I don't know if it's that castle. This was just an oubliette that was near the shoreline. But the rats, right, in order to escape the water deeper in the oubliette, would run over the victims and eat them and stuff. And it was pitch dark. So imagine that you're pitch dark, and then you'd hear the rats scurrying towards you, and then you'd be like half wet, and then
they're swarming you.
The rats would come back. Yeah, and it was just waves of rats and water in and out of the oubliette. There's no way to get out of it and swim out to the water because the holes were too small, big enough for rats.
It's like I learned the other day that apparently there's a layer of spiders in the atmosphere.
England? Yeah, that was in England. I guess it was in England. It wasn't France.
Oh, okay. No, not France.
Yeah. Really? Because it was an oubliette. Oubliettes were French.
Yeah, but the idea is the same.
Okay.
Right? They're down in there, and the tide would come in, forcing the rats to swim inwards. And they would swim in and then be up on the shore and then just have a nice dinner of you. In the dark, complete darkness. Nobody can see you.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about you screaming.
Yeah. Let's see. That's too dark. I'm trying to find a good one. No, I'm on too smooth of lines. Is it in my janky lines?
I can't see it very well.
No, I went through. I'm sorry. Here we go. I went through and organized all my brushes in this program, which
Yeah,
is
it's
good.
pretty thick, the line you're using. Like Bluto's lines are really thick.
No, I'm trying to find a good like background piece. Ooh.
To make it look craggy?
Yeah, to make it look like. Let's see, that's too dark. You know what? I'm just gonna cheat and do it in a lighter gray. And then we'll do this. We'll put it behind.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
Too dark.
Well, it's supposed to be dark. It's an oubliette.
I know, but it's too distracting even with them on top of the gray. It's too chunky. It doesn't look right. There's no zipatone? Like, that's better.
You feel like a zipatone would be good?
Yeah, I'm sure it would.
I have zip tones. Give me a second. I just got to find it. Where's my zip tones? Where's my zip tones? No, it's not there. C1K. Yes. Yes. I shall grab the blacks. Okay. Here we go. You want lines or you want dots? Come on.
Let's see the lines.
This is lines.
Yeah, that looks great. Perfect. Done.
You like that? You like the lines better?
Yep, I do.
All right, we'll do this. Yeah. I've seen the paper that used to create this pattern once in my life. You know, when I was
You mean the actual sticky stuff?
Yeah, when I was working at no,
you've only seen it once in your life?
Yeah, like no, I mean I played with zip tones and stuff, but the paper that used to do this, that you used to put acetone on, and then it would bring out the colors, the actual paper that did it. Like I've only seen that paper once when I worked at
okay.
Yeah.
Because my friend Robin, she used to use zip tone all the time, and I've seen like she'd have reams of different. And when they stopped making it, it was a really sad day. She was very upset.
There are specialty companies that have picked it back up again.
Yeah, but I don't know if she does comics anymore.
Well, it's not the same formula as before, so it doesn't like stick as well. And what it doesn't do is turn yellow like the old zip tone did. But it doesn't stick as well. So sometimes, like you'll have your pages stacked, and then the zip tone will stick to the upper page when you're like, you know, taking them apart. You can't put a lot of weight on it because it'll come off. So let's see, panel 4. Woo, panel 4.
Should we have like a woman of Wallendorf guarding the hole? Just one?
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, we'll do
maybe with her back to the hole because she doesn't think they're gonna get anywhere.
Let's see. Let's do her. Let's see, smooth inker. Let's do her in gray because she's up here in the light.
I got your legger. I got your legger.
Yeah, so there's like, well, that's a huge woman of Willendorf. Okay,
because she's the guard version of them all.
I don't know. No, I'll just do this. I'll just have her standing here like this with her big butt. Dude. And she's got a pike. That's how you know she's a guard. So yeah, so there's the woman of Willendorf guarding the top. And we'll turn that one off. What happens next?
I don't know. There's no audience members.
Let's see. I have a dark cat. I guess I can light up my cat. That will help. Let's see. So wait. We had discussed it, right? Bluto turns into Puma mode.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah, so
Puma Pluto
goes Puma mode. Yeah, Pluto goes Puma mode. Should that just be the panel? He just goes Puma mode or just goes Puma mode exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark.
Okay. Exclamation mark.
Because he's already done it before, so it's not unusual for us to refer back to it.
Yes, I suppose that is true. So yeah, we'll do this and then
is he gonna have the theme song going again?
I don't know. Would it be new lyrics or would it be the same lyrics as the old theme song?
I have no idea. I am tired of deciding. Because I know I will have more decisions ahead of me. But this is one decision I refuse to make.
About the theme song?
Yeah. I put my foot down. I refuse to make this decision. This one decision.
Okay. Yeah, well, I know it's a lot of pressure on you to do the thinking for me.
All the time.
Well, it's not that I don't want to do it.
I'm just teasing.
I just don't want to like drive the ship too much because I really do like audience interaction with these.
Me too. Me too.
And so
that one audience member who's not talking.
That's okay. They don't have to. You know.
You don't have to, but I sure would like it.
Yeah, it would be enjoyable. So let's see.
Interaction.
So, okay. Here's the thing, okay? When they leave the oubliette, has it been a while? Is Dot Baton in charge? Are there going to be Dot Baton posters everywhere? Little Dot Baton faces on the side of the government?
Well, they were drugged. I mean, it's foreseeable that they were drugged for at least 24 hours.
Yeah. But
that's enough time for the coup to really get a hold of, like you said, propaganda posters and marching through the streets and curfews and...
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So we're gonna do just a center transition here of the weird shape. And I don't even know what that is. Okay. That is not an arm. What is that? Okay. It's like that. And then we'll do yeah, we'll have that right there, and then let's just move that right in the middle and we'll make it bigger. Just like that. And then we'll do this so it's more dynamic. Okay. Back to drawing. To Puma mode.
Nice.
So
that looks good.
Yeah, let's do back to black. And yeah.
Like Amy Winehouse?
Not that kind of black. That's a sad song. That F chord right in the chorus, or not the chorus, excuse me, in the bridge, right? And she replaces a B with an F chord, and it
is that the really low one?
It's the third
there's a part where she goes really low.
Yeah, and anyway, but that chord change, it's like you can hear her heart breaking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just it's a perfect chord change. You know, it's just really good. I don't know. I liked Amy Winehouse. I thought she had a lot of talent. It's sad how she died. You know, she got back from rehab and then bought a bunch of vodka, went back to her place, got stupid drunk, passed out standing up, and hit her head on a coffee table and bled out.
Eee.
Yeah. So that's the death of Amy Winehouse. You know, and it's sad because, you know, she wrote songs like Rehab about like, oh, I don't want to go to rehab because I don't need it and stuff like that, that are now really, really sad to listen to because of how she died. You know, getting out of rehab and all she could think about was the alcohol. And then as she got out, she drank herself. I consider her drinking herself to death because she drank herself to passing out, standing up, and then cracked her head open on a coffee table. Yeah. It's I don't know. It for some reason, Ian and I like have this weird fascination with how like rock stars died. You know, because there's a lot of them. Let's see. So we're just gonna do.
Yeah, like I was watching this documentary about Robert Johnson, who was like a old school blues musician that kind of like pioneered a lot of chords. And they were saying, I knew about the whole 27 myth, like how a lot of musicians die when they're 27, but I didn't realize that people believe that 27 myth revolves around a deal with the devil. Yeah. Because they believe that Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil to be able to play so well. Yeah. And then that song, The Devil Went Down to Georgia, is about Robert Johnson. Yeah. But yeah. And so like, I think that's crazy that people are sitting there going, oh yeah, Kurt Cobain sold his soul to the devil. Yeah, and Jim Morrison sold his soul to the devil. And
they allude to him in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Cool.
They pick him up in the middle of the desert and stuff. He's like, yep, I sold my soul to the devil to play guitar. And then he plays guitar with them. You know, when they do their thing. Oh, we got Dale. Hi,
Dale. Hey, Dale.
And then Jen says so tragic, talking about the death.
Oh, Amy Winehouse,
yeah, the death of Amy Winehouse. So let's do this, and then we'll have.
See, it was like Janis Joplin. She burned frickin' bright until she burned out.
Yeah. Let's see. Dale says, "Yo," and So Jen, I'm not trying to ignore you, but I have a program that lets me hear a ding when Twitch goes off, but I haven't gotten it to work with YouTube yet. So I don't hear the ding when you talk. So I'm not trying to ignore anyone on YouTube.
Oh no, I don't think anybody thinks that. I didn't get that impression. I think you're cool, Amber.
I'm trying. Cool. I just want to make sure that, she's like, well, how come she's responding to him so fast, but not me?
Oh no, not at all. Ding.
See, and then Dale goes, ding, because I just heard a ding in my ear. Yeah. So Dale has been very good. Doing very good on his homework. He's been finishing comics and producing them.
Good work, Dale.
Sharing with me the steps and the processes of such endeavors. And, they're looking good. They're cute little cat comics about like space cats and stuff.
Space cats? Cool. I like space cats.
Yeah, he says he's slow on homework. Let's see. Okay, let's go back out. I'm gonna do another manga effect line thing.
So Dale, we've turned Pluto back into a puma because we've discovered that there is a Chairman Mao figure who is trying to take over the planet for all the riches, and our heroes have been stashed in an oubliette.
Yes. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. There we go. Okay. That way we still have comments up on screen, and we can kind of see what's going on, and you guys can see my screen here as I'm picking up these effects. So what about this one? Yes. I want to download it. Yes.
Oh wow, Bob the Angry Flower. That's a throwback.
Yeah,
I've actually spent time with Stephen Notley.
Yeah. We had him on the show once.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I can't remember. It was an ape, and we were all sleeping on, I think, Keith Knight's floor. All of us. Yes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. he did a really cool scene transition the other day. Here, let me go back to this so people don't have to see my screen with randomness. But he did a really cool panel transition the other day on his
Are you talking about Dale?
No, I'm talking about Steve.
Okay, just clarifying.
Yeah. But he did a really cool panel transition the other day where he had like, you know, this is my reason for not being in court, right? Because he's doing this political bent on his comic, right? And it was like this huge manifesto, and the judge dropped it from one panel to the next panel into the trash can.
Very clever.
Yes, it was beautiful. It was like chef's kiss of comics. You know, I don't know how to explain it aside from like it was just very well done. So okay, let's do this. Now will you do it? Yes. Yes, this is what I wanted. Oh, here, I have to move it. There we go.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so we're going to have it. Well, again, I have, because I use Clip Studio Paint, it has all these like manga tools in it. And that's so cool. These ones are kind of cool, except for the fact that they're vector. And I usually work in raster art because sometimes vector is not the easiest. But if you merge it with a raster layer, it becomes raster.
Is it going to be that dark though? Don't you think that'll be distracting?
I can lighten it, but I was just thinking like, you know, it's just like.
I do like the effect though. It looks really good.
Let's see. Let's do this.
Yeah, Keith Knight does the Keith comics. He's got a bunch of his books. But he also does like, there's a series, I forget what it's called now, but it's like his most favorite thing, or the little victories in life. I think it's the little victories. But yeah, initially I have like I had his first few books. He's a really funny guy. He's very, very funny.
Here,
now he's got a TV show. Actually, they did a TV show about him called.
Yeah,
Woke.
they did. Yeah, it was
filmed in Vancouver, ironically.
Yeah, it was a good one. You know, about like I don't know. It's just I have no commentary. I'm not very talkative tonight. So I changed it gray. Is that?
Oh, they canceled it. Oh, that's too bad.
Is that working with the gray?
Yeah, I like it better. But you're gonna put them on top, right? Oh, they already are. Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, they're already on top. I already cleared them out. Yeah, and let me draw in the feet. Okay, there we go. All right, panel 5. Look at us. We're actually doing some panels tonight.
Yay, we're booking along.
Spending the whole time looking up reference of Slattern from Pacific Rim. That was a very slow episode.
Hey, research is important. You can't skimp on research.
Yeah. Let's see, duplicate layer, and then we stick it up.
Or I'll start calling you Rob Liefeld.
Oh no! Rob Liefeld researches so much he traces. So
Rob Liefeld researches so much he doesn't even bother to draw it, like his feet.
Well, he traces. I thought that was a good one. You know, he researches so well, he traces, because there's a lot of panels of his. On Facebook, are you a member of the Comic Swipes group?
No, but I used to read them in the Comics Journal. They used to do Comic Swipes all the time.
Oh yeah, Rich Johnston he's a member of the group. He still does that for the group. Nice. You know, and so yeah, I know he used to do it for CBR, but it's funny because sometimes people post joking ones or obvious homages, you know, where someone says after McFarlane or after Liefeld or whatever, right? And then there's other ones that are so glaringly traced, and it's like some obscure panel in some little side comic, and it's like, really, like this person like literally traced this Frank Miller panel, right?
Yeah,
and they hold them up side by side. And it's just like I'm surprised by how much I mean, I get it. Like you're trying to reach deadline, but
Mhm.
it's just interesting that like people think that no one will notice, right?
Oh,
But you're making comics for a comic reading audience that read other comics, right? And we all have eyes,
exactly. They
you
thrive
know?
in that kind of nerd world, looking for
Yeah,
similarities.
yeah, exactly. And people are like, wait a second, I've seen this kick before, right? And then they look through their Jim Lee X-Men comic from 20 years ago and they go, aha, it's Psylocke.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that where it's like there was some comic that was released, a Batman comic that basically they traced a kick, Jim Lee kick from an X-Men comic that was released like in 2000, or it was
Terrible.
released in like 1994, 1995 when he did the relaunch. So anyway, I digress. So what happens next? So we have he becomes Puma again.
And he just bounds out of the hole. Now,
bounds
either
out
they
of
hold on to his tail and he drags them out, or he goes back to being Bluto and gets a rope and helps them out.
Let's see. Oubliette. I lost my spelling of oubliette. Oh, I got it right on the first try. Look
Nice.
Look at me. Yeah, citation needed. An oubliette is a French oublier, meaning to forget, or bottle dungeon is a basement room which is accessible only from a hatch or hole, an angstal lock in a high ceiling. So that
hey, you wanna field this statement by Dale?
Let's see. Sadly, that show Woke was canceled. Bill Watterson practically traced every Calvin and Hobbes from old Peanut strips. I don't believe that. No, Dale reveres Schultz as a comic god, and I've never been big on Peanuts. You know,
interesting, Amber. That's very interesting.
I never found it funny. It was always very safe comedy. It repeated the same things over and over again to the point of boredom. You know, the early comics are really funny, right? But like they reached a point when I was reading it in the paper that I'm like, why are they? I just didn't get it.
Me either. I didn't get it either. I was like, what is with this kid? He's so sad. I don't enjoy this at all. This is not funny. This is depressing.
Yeah.
And then I read the very first year and I loved them. So I am a Charles Schultz fan, but only the big-headed era where he was like in the 50s, like when he first started.
Is Holy Writ. Dale says Peanuts is Holy Writ.
Yes, I know. Maybe I'll come around. I had the same argument with Jack Kirby. A lot of guys are just like, you're crazy for not liking him. And I'm like, he draws all his women exactly the same. But I finally came around, I guess 2 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, when I saw the documentary Jack Kirby at War. And I actually saw a lot of his more psychedelic work and his machinery and his DC stuff. And I was quite impressed. So I get it now. I get the whole Jack Kirby thing. So maybe I'll come around to the Charles Schultz thing. But right now, nah, I'm with you, Amber. I only like the first couple of years.
When I visited San Francisco, he wanted to take me to the Charles Schultz Museum. And I was like, let's go to the Cartoon Art Museum instead.
Yes, that's a better choice. I've been there. And I got to see original Bill Watterson when I was there. So, blah, blah, blah.
So la-di-da, Dale. Yeah. La-di-frickin-da. I don't know. No, Bill Watterson drew dinosaurs too cool to have traced every panel. You know, I didn't see any dinosaurs in Peanuts.
I didn't see any pencil lines in the painting I saw.
Yeah. Let's see. I've tried to sneak under the ice rink to see his cryogenic crypt. Let's see. Bluto bounds out of the angst lock hatch. I grabbed that word angst lock from the Wikipedia article on oubliettes.
Nice.
Yes. So let's see. So we're gonna have.
What's flax?
I guess the hatch right here.
What's flax?
I also dragged Amber to Flax. Oh, Flax is an art store.
Oh, okay.
That has like really cool art supplies, and we watched someone shoplift while we were there. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we were like watching them, but while I was talking with one of the people that worked there, this chick just ran out with a bunch of socks out the door. You know, because they sell like artist socks and stuff. I think, yeah. I guess we can just do the hatch flying off. Like, pop. Right?
I'd hate to be an artist and go to an art supply store. That would drive me crazy.
Oh, are you kidding? I'm like, oh, look at the store. It's colors galore. We've seen them 1,000 times over before. And that's why our brains don't work anymore.
Accurate. Very accurate. Oh, yeah. I got a whole bunch of comics over the weekend.
Ooh, what'd you get? What'd you get?
Well, on Sunday, I found on Facebook Marketplace someone was selling this Barbie I've been wanting. I used to have her when I was a kid in the 80s. She glows in the dark.
I had that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when I looked at where I had to pick it up, I looked around the woman's house, and there was a place called Retrosaurus. Mm-hmm. So I went in there, and he had a ton of really cool toys. I didn't buy any toys, but what I did buy is somebody sold him a almost pristine collection of 60s alternative comics. And so, let's see here, I'll grab what I got.
Let's see, Dale says Flax was a chain of art supply stores in the 80s. Flax in San Francisco was the mecca of art supply stores. In Berkeley, it was Amsterdam Art. Glow in the Dark, is it the Bambi Madame Curie?
No, she just had, it's an 80s Barbie, so she glow in the dark. This is the first thing I got at the store. Look at this. It's like an old 60s Cinderella book.
Huh.
Look at the art, though.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, so, it's very clean.
Yeah, and so it's like a lot of writing, right? But then I don't know, it's like really retro 60s. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, Ian's mom kept a bunch of his books from when he was a kid, right? And so some of them, like compared to today's picture books and stuff, there's a lot more writing. So we've been reading those to Annabelle.
So I took a chance on this, and this wasn't so great, but it's called Armageddon. It's a lot of naked sex.
Okay.
But it's from the 60s, you know?
Yeah.
Which presses it.
Again,
and also only 50 cents.
That's what put me through. Don't forget, that's what put me through college was drawing porn comics. I drew for Eros, so
nice.
You know, girl needed to eat.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I got a couple issues of Tits and Clits that I didn't have.
Oh, good. Tits and Clits, good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. See.
And they're in really good condition, which is nice.
See, we're gonna do
because these comics, like a lot of times, were really well loved. So to get some that were in really good condition is great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got Pudge Girl Blimp by Lee Mars.
Let's see. Dale also says I have tried to sneak under the. Oh no. For some reason it's not. Okay, there it is. Nice book cover. Who is the artist? He asks.
Oh, so the artist on the Cinderella book, I've never heard of. I think they're probably either Filipino or Argentinian. Pablo Ramirez. I mean, let's see if there's anything in the book about the guy. No. There's Cinderella with her non-existent sparkly shoe. Kind of like Shag. It reminds me a lot of Shag.
Let's see. Dale says, "Oh my God, TNC! There is a bound collection. I saw it a few days ago."
Yeah, I saw that too. And but I already have most of them. You know who Pablo Ramirez is, Dale? I don't. I would like to know more about Pablo Ramirez. Yeah, there's nothing about
comics and art, so he
nothing about the artist in here.
We're just doing the suggestion of holding the spirit.
Okay, and then the other thing that I got that's really cool, and it's something that I've gotten into recently, because the Comics Journal did this excellent book issue. It's like this thick, and it's like bigger than magazine size. It's giant, and it was all interviews with Zap cartoonists. And for the longest time, we had the Victor Moscosko art book at the comic book store that I used to manage, and I just like totally didn't give it the time of day. I didn't care. Yeah. He's like mostly a poster artist, but he did do some comic art in Zap. Yeah. But then I went to the rock and roll.
That's what kind of happened to Richard Bennett. Do you remember Richard Bennett? He was a 90s, 2000s artist.
Okay, maybe.
He worked for like Marvel and Image and stuff like that, and he was hot on the scene for like a minute, and then realized there's no money in comics and went to design.
Yeah,
and it's like
it's not wrong.
His art, I loved it. Right, it's just so cool. He got so much detail in, and he always hit deadline. And I guess he was great to work with and everything like that. But he's just like, nah, I'm not getting paid enough for this. I'm going to go into design. And so we lost Richard Bennett to the design world. Yeah, but I don't know.
So, anyways,
Stranko too also did a lot of design.
Yes, he started in design. But my point of my story was that reading that comics journal, I grew to appreciate Victor Moscosko, and I also got to see his poster art at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and so I got his book. But then I also was reading the S. Clay Wilson interview, and then I found these two from that collection that are just excellent. Now, this stuff is super counterculture. Like, there's a lot of inappropriate things in these books. Even in Tits and Clits, there was kids having sex. Yeah. So, like, it's kind of interesting to have. But S. Clay Wilson is really something else. His artwork is really inappropriate, but he puts so much effort into it. Like, so much detail, so many lines, just so much stuff happening. He's really... I'm really glad to have some of his stuff in my collection. And then the last thing I got, I didn't know if I'd like it, but I finished it and I do like it. Did we talk about this already? This is the Miyazaki book that came out like long before Nausicaa.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Yeah, so I finished it, and it's really interesting because it's basically all the characters and themes and of Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke. So like there's so many things where you're like, oh, so he was thinking of that all the way back in the 80s? Yeah. Like this is it's I'm really glad I have it because there's some really beautiful paintings in here. And the story is quite simple, but yet it's really great.
Okay, I swear this is for a reason.
Yeah, see, maybe Pablo Ramirez is one of the Filipino cartoonists. I was wondering that too. Like, that's what I said. Maybe he's Argentinian or maybe he's South American. But there was a whole wave of Filipino and Argentinian cartoonists that came over in the 60s and 50s. And they did stuff. They did a lot of Westerns. And yeah, I guess we should try and Google him. Yes, rest in peace, S. Clay Wilson. He's so cool. You met him? Oh, nice. So Dale got to meet S. Clay Wilson.
Yeah, that's cool.
For 1 second. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't suffer fools gladly, that Mr. Wilson. He seemed like a pretty caustic dude in the interview, but like it's worth it. The stories he told were excellent. I don't know if you read that Comics Journal, Dale, but I highly recommend it, the Zap interviews.
Yeah, well, the Comics Journal has done it very good at trying to preserve all this history. They've tried to, not just get technique and stuff, but also like meaning behind things, influence. Yeah, it's good stuff. Let's see. Okay, so let's take that away, and bam. There's our women's of Willendorf's.
So unfortunately, there was a skateboarding artist named Pablo Ramirez that was born in the 90s.
Oh, so it's making it hard to check.
Oh, he died in 2019. Dang, no wonder there's all that stuff about him.
Yeah.
So let's see if I put in 1960s if something happens.
All right. That is panel 5. We got 5 minutes left. I don't know if 5 minutes is enough time to draw another panel. So we might end a couple minutes early today. Robin, what was the title of the Ramirez book again?
Oh, it says Cinderella. I'm looking it up right now. I found the book, but they're not talking about.
So I'm going to take the overlay off the screen for a second and then let people know. Let me drag this down. So this is the last page that has been posted. If you go to my website, paneltopanel.com, you can find the pages there. If you click on archive, all the way down here, here's the episodes in order, and then here are the pages of the art. And so I'm not posting the pages until they have been completed with like all the panels and stuff, so I don't have to like replace images. But yeah, if you want to know what's going on, check it out. And there's also like a bunch of free comics and art. And so yeah, that's a good thing. And so yeah, let's back.
Yeah, I'm not finding anything on this artist. Like, there's tons of this book for sale, but nobody's talking about the artist.
There he is. There's my cat. Here, I'll put him in the big window first.
Gorgeous little kitty, gorgeous kitty.
Yes. So this is Archimedes again, and I'm going to say goodbye to him because he's good. Bye, Archimedes. And then this is the art.
Should we say goodbye to
Dale?
Dale?
We'll say goodbye there.
Bye, Dale.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Bye, Dunya, if you're still here.
Kitty. And then there is. Yes, there's a Puma in panel 5, and then there's also Meow. I don't think Dale saw Meow, so let's do a recap of today's episode then. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So, last week they want to stage a coup and place Dot Badan in place of Venus de Philo. So that's why they kidnapped Otis/Dot Badan. Meow wants to rule through a puppet government with Dot Badan as a figurehead. Meow's origins are mysterious, but he always wanted to run the Philo government, and he wants it for the money.
And he thinks Dot Badan is malleable.
Meanwhile, the group wakes up in an oubliette. Pluto goes.
Which is a French torture chamber of forgetting.
It is a place of forgetting. And just a sec, I gotta figure out which. It's this layer. Okay, right there. All right, I realize that it goes over the words, so I have to fix that. Good. There we go. Okay, so yes, they he goes Puma mode.
Puma.
And after he goes Puma mode, Pluto bounds out of the angle stock hatch. And so bye Archie, bye game. Meow. Meow sounds a lot like Huey. Yes. Well, we were talking about Mao, and so Mao turned into Meow. And yes, and so yes, I shall say goodbye to the art, and then Miss Robin, let me put you in the big window. I shall say goodbye to Miss Robin.
See you guys
Thank
next
you for doing all my
week.
thinking for me.
You're
right,
welcome.
I'll talk to you.
Dale, you gotta come sooner so you can contribute to the story.
Yes, you have to come sooner. Yes, so bye, Miss Robin, and then I am gonna put up my credits. Oh, that's Ian in the back, blocked by the credits. Thanks, Ian. I appreciate it.